So I was on that School of Hard Knocks podcast this last week,
Yeah.
and that kid James that runs that thing is a badass.
Is he?
Yeah, incredible
perfect,
young
right?
man. He's about to graduate from UT, travels all over the country, just interviewing entrepreneurs and successful people for young entrepreneurs, and dealing with it since that thing dropped yesterday right now yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Just dealing with that's been I was dealing with it till 1 a.m. and then dealing with it since I got up at 5. It's been nonstop. So between that and filming content and interviews, but anyways, that kid's going to come on our podcast. So we just got to nail him down. Well, the hard part's nailing down a time that all three of us are available, but because it's remote, it's easy for him. We just got to pin that time down.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. And to be clear, when you say dealing with, you got a lot of dope shit going on from it.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's wonderful. I'm so sorry.
For those that don't know, I know. I'm aware, but those watching are like, what are they talking about?
No, dope shit is an understatement. Yeah, no, it's like, I don't want to say life changing, but
it is, bro.
But it's definitely a turbo boost.
Yeah,
it's stuff we've already been working on. So
it's neat. I'm excited to see it all come together, dude. We're trying to put things together on our end. I hired a video guy.
Nice.
And he accepted. And then 2 hours later, he said no. So
artist.
We're back at it. We got a couple more people coming in this week. And
artists. Man. Yeah. More people coming in this week. So did you didn't interview did you interview the person?
I did. I don't know if I scared him. I don't know what happened. So my team interviewed him like remotely on the phone.
Yeah.
And then he was going to start like at an event, not really start, but Amanda was like, let's do like a working interview. And they were going to film some stuff at an event I have Thursday night and Friday, speaking and just see his recording skills, how I got along. They thought I'd get along with him. So they were like, all right, let's go to the next step.
Right.
And I was like, that's like a week away. I don't know. I kind of want to meet him. I was bored. I'm like, bring him in. So we bring him in Monday. He comes in Monday and we sit and chat, and cool dude, seemed excited, knew all my stuff, watched all our stuff. He referenced our podcast. He knew what was going on. He told me what, things we need to work on, whatever. And I'm like, all right, where would you start? He fucking laid out a plan, bro. Here's where we're going to start here. I'm like, dope. When can you start? He was like, Wednesday. I'm like, okay, hired. Let's go. And, we had talked about some trips. We were going to take him to the one in Dallas where we're trying to talk about meeting up.
Right.
Literally. Okay. He leaves, and literally 2 hours later, Amanda gets an email. Well, after thinking about it more, I decided I don't really want to do it. I'm like, hot damn.
He's an artist, man.
Glad I got that out of the way.
My guy is such a professional. We did a shoot today, just the two of us, just kind of podcast style, just having a conversation. Yeah. But so on those Instagrams, so I'm getting like, an Instagram message every 90 seconds or something. And most of them are from people in other countries who want advice.
Want to edit videos for you?
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of them are from like young people that are trying to figure their shit out, about to graduate college or just dropped out of college or trying to decide if they want to go to college. Or so like I was messaging this guy back right before this. So here's this question. I graduate in December. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to do something big. I want to work my ass off. I want to change the world. Right. I want to change my own world. Where should I start?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll let you answer it. Go ahead.
It's all you. Young entrepreneur, and from a young entrepreneur, and I want to change the world. Where do I start? Huh? Oh, good question. Does he know anyone? It's just you. He knows you.
He now thinks he knows me.
Okay.
And my sucker ass replies to every single message and every single comment.
Do you reply to the message that are like, "Hey, I like you and I want to be friends"?
No,
and
I mean, I'm not.
Hey, no. I want to. Okay, because I reply to all of them that seem.
I don't reply to the hey, right? And
yeah.
And if they're trying to sell me something,
I get some messages. I'm like, yeah. I reply to all of mine too, except for the ones that I think are horseshit.
Yeah, because I mean, I can't stand. Once I don't send out messages very often, but once in a while, I'm like, man, this guy really creates some really cool stuff. And so once in a while, I'll send a message. I'll be like, listen, man, don't want to bother you. I just want to tell you that I think your content is phenomenal. And I actually used it in some of my trainings with my team. And 100% of the time, they don't reply back. Yeah. And when I send the message, I think, I don't care if they reply back. And then when they don't reply back, I'm like, screw you, man.
Yeah.
Like, I know what it takes to create all this content. I also know that if somebody sends me love like that, I'm at least sending a thank you. Like I got shortcuts on my phone. TY, enter. Yeah. It says thank you. Yeah. TYS is thank you, sir. TYM, thank you, ma'am. Bam. Go.
Yeah.
But
I'm a
also,
guy too.
I'm sure that they get 1,000 of those a day, but
yeah,
I'm replying.
That's cool. Yeah, I do the same, dude. I do the same. I say that, and then funny enough, this one lady one day, I go to an event and I'm speaking and I'm talking about it. I just made the camera worse. I go to an event and I'm talking about it, and she comes up to me after and she's like, "Yeah, but you didn't reply to me, and I really wanted to work with you." I'm like, dude, I reply to everyone. She's like, you didn't reply to me. So I pull up my text messages and I scroll, I find her and I'm like, sure as shit, I didn't reply to you. And the message, I'm like, this sounded really spammy. So I ignored it. And I felt bad because she was a killer. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. So the answer is...
Yeah, I think, dude, I mean, I don't have a lot of context, right? But I think if someone's young entrepreneur and they're trying to kill it, I think getting around successful people and trying to find a way to add value to them.
Your parents aren't successful people, John. Yeah. All right. You're going to Texas Tech. You're about to graduate. Where do you go hang out with successful people?
Dude, I'm trying to find a sales guy that's making some money I can help, like you. Dude, I'd be like, how can I help you? You know what I mean? I would get around someone and add some value. I'd find me. Like, I swear to God, dude, right before we get on
it took me 49 years to find you.
Well,
so
someone like me.
Where do you find someone like you?
Here's the thing. Look, right before this, I post, have you looked at my stories in the last couple hours? Have you seen it by chance?
No.
I don't know, dude. I thought you stalked me. What do I know?
Man, I haven't looked at anything in the last couple of hours.
I know. Anyway, I post a story. I'm speaking at an event. I post a story. Dude hits me up right after I post it and goes, "Give me a media pass. I want to come record for you." And I'm like, so I respond. I'm like, "Are you even local?" He's like, "Yes, I live in Kennesaw." Like, I think that's pretty badass. So I'm like, all right, call me tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let him come out and see what he can do.
Well, I
mean, that's not that deep.
No, I mean, I think that I have a decent answer to the guy's question. So obviously that's what that guy's doing, right? He's reaching out to me and that's great. But he found me from a knocking on my car door video saying, what do you do for a living? Right.
Yeah.
But if you don't have me, so then where do you get that? And so I was thinking about it, and here's the answer. Indeed.
Was mine wrong?
Was your answer wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know where to find you. I listen, I spent my whole life going, where do I find, I remember I had this friend.
Where do people with money go, bro?
They go to places that people without money aren't allowed to hang out, bro.
All
right. I'm a 20-year-old.
They go to nice steakhouses.
Okay. You're at a nice steakhouse. A 22-year-old walks up to you and goes with a microphone. Hey, what do you do for a living?
Hey,
how did you become successful?
Hey, you're gonna it might go viral on TikTok tomorrow.
I'm with my family. Get the hell away from me. Plus, just because people are at Eddie V's and whatever.
Be clear. I was 37 and broke, dude. I don't know the answer to this.
Here's the best answer I can come up with, other than sending them my recruiting page. And the answer is Indeed.
Okay.
All right, go to Indeed, and what are we looking for? We're looking for a sales job, commission only with residuals. Yeah. And then you go to a lot of, and then, because if they're doing that, they're inviting everybody to an interview, right?
Yep.
And then what are you looking for? You're looking for someone who's charismatic, who's a leader, who can prove that they're successful at it. So if I can find a charismatic leader that can prove that they know how to sell, then maybe they can coach me. Then I can learn, most of the things I need.
So you got a tactical way to solve my answer.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be interesting if I just gave you the answer. I wanted to see what your answer was, because I
had the right answer. I didn't know how to do it.
Your answer was go find a badass like me.
And that's how you do it. You go on Indeed and you find some badasses that are looking to hire. That's freaking.
So that was what I responded to the guy right before this. Like, go on Indeed. But also, here's my recruiting page. We'd love to meet with you.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to answer that way, because that's what I would do if they found me. You know what I mean? It's like, but yeah, I get it if you're young and don't know anyone, which I didn't. So I didn't have a good path. I was too stupid to find Indeed and go apply to sales jobs. And so I like your answer, dude. I'm a fan.
Yeah, thanks. I that's the best I can come up with, because I don't know where to find other people like us. But also, I don't know any other people like us in Fort Worth. So I know some in Tampa.
I bet there are
in Atlanta. Oh, of course there are.
Yeah.
And there's nobody like us. It's just you and I. But there's got to be somebody else out there that's not quite as tall and handsome and buff and bald as you and I. Maybe they got more hair and a mustache.
It's probably true.
That's my answer to it.
I dig it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stupid. It's an answer that is frustrating when you get it. You go,
that was an easy one.
That was an easy one, man. Come on.
I fumbled the bag.
So you had a friend that brought you into the industry. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep. He sent me a DM. Was like, yo, what are you doing? Yep. And I was like, what's up? We hadn't talked in like 4 years. I was in the mortgage business with him. And he goes, I know you're on a job you probably hate, but I think I found something you'll be good at. I work with a guy. He reminds me of you. I think you'd be a fit. I'm like, all right, call me. And that was it. And then I first said no on the phone. I was like, because he said insurance. And I'm like, nah, dude, I'm good. I tried that. I didn't like it.
Why do you think it is that we all have such a negative, that selling insurance has such a negative connotation? Not like what you think now.
Yeah.
But can you put yourself in that headspace that you were in back then? And why did you feel that way?
Yeah. Well, I felt that way. I think there's two answers. One, the vague one, I'm going to answer in a different order. My guess is, like, the overwhelming majority of humans in the world probably think insurance guys are like schmucky sales guys who come up and try to push you to buy something you didn't ask for. I just think through hearsay. Yeah, I think through hearsay, I think just insurance has a bad rap by default, and people don't know any better. it seems to be getting a little cooler, but I'm on the inside, and the perception I see from younger people is very different than what I imagined. But at that time, for me, I was already licensed. He didn't know that. And so when I was in the mortgage business, I used to have salespeople come into my office and try to get me to sell mortgage protection. And at the time, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know that was insurance. I had no idea. But I remember it would happen all the time. And then when the mortgage business went away, I was looking for like jobs on Craigslist, and I would always see mortgage protection ads. And so one day I applied to it, and I was like, I know mortgages, whatever. And then I just was recruiting everyone who applied, and I got licensed, and I made phone calls once, like one day. I made like 20 calls or something stupid. And they all, gave me whatever objection, told me to F off basically. And I was like, I ain't doing this. And I quit that day. And 2 years went by, and my buddy hit me up. So the day I'd worked one day in the insurance business, I quit. And 2 years later, he's like, hey, you want to do insurance? So I was like, dude, that sucks. I did that. And I didn't know any better.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is for me, why I felt that way. My cousin, Blake, you met him. He was on the podcast. Mm-hmm. I remember him saying, I'm going into insurance. And I just remember going, loser. Because I had no idea.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, like, why do we feel that way?
Yeah.
Now, when I talked to Blake and the first time about going into insurance, and we've talked about this, he was like, listen, it's not sexy. And maybe it's that. Maybe it's just not sexy. Owning a gym, sexy, right?
Yeah.
Being an accountant at an office.
Dude, sexy. I still, when people ask what I do, I don't even know how to answer to make them not go, oh, and like look away. If I say anything to do with insurance and they don't know much about what's going on, they don't know, they're just like, must be a corny insurance dude. I don't know. I get the weirdest reaction still to this day.
Well, I absolutely adore the art of sales. I love it. Yeah. Like, I love the art of the dance, all of it. But also, sales has such a negative connotation. And I don't feel like I've ever sold anything. All I do is help people and navigate the conversation to a place that's right for them and right for me. Right.
Yeah.
But I can't stand when people will reach out to me and they're like, hey, I'm looking for a job. And I'm like, oh, cool. Well, I kind of know you. Love to have you out, take a look at it. And they're like, yeah, I don't like sales. And I go, well, how do you know you don't like sales? I'd never sold anything before I came here. My wife has never sold anything before we came here. We were wildly successful day one. And they were like, well, I don't want to feel salesy. And I'm like, no, it's not sales that you don't like. What you don't like is being a sleazy asshole.
Yes, correct.
Nobody likes being a sleazy asshole. Even sleazy assholes don't like being a sleazy asshole. But if you just sell a good product in an ethical way, that's not salesy. That's helping people.
You think some people are confused though on how you get clients too, because some lines and some companies and some styles are very
everywhere's different, right?
Yeah, where you got to like really approach people in a different way that didn't come to you. You know what I mean? Like we're both in a similar space where people are approaching us.
Right.
So it is very much order taking.
But like Aflac, you're walking into,
you're banging doors,
and harassing people and selling them something they're going to keep for 3 months and then drop, right?
Yeah, or even other life sales where it's just straight up warm market. Like the guy that does our programming stuff, he's like, it's funny. I was with a friend, and I don't remember who was who in the story, but he's like, I was with a friend, and when I was with the friend, they were on the phone with someone, and they handed the phone to me and was like, so-and-so wants to talk to you. And so he got on the phone with them, and the person tried to pitch him insurance there, and they didn't even know each other. They just was he was hanging out with a friend.
Right.
And he's like, I can't imagine having to do that kind of insurance. I'm like, we don't do that. So maybe that's why, because it's that type of cold outreach people don't want them to do.
Yeah, I had somebody trying to
wonder.
sell me today, and it was really creepy. I started out with a really polite conversation where I thought we were having a conversation, and then it didn't take long for I was like, "Oh, you're selling me shit."
Yeah.
And
You can feel it coming.
you all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, I thought this was genuine. You're selling, and listen, I'm interested in what you're buying, what you're selling, but I just despise that." And there's nothing worse than the feeling you get when it occurs to you that's happening to you.
It was all a setup.
And and you're like, I don't want other people to feel that way.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
But
I
that's
started selling so much more when I realized I could just kind of be me and ask the right questions that like I didn't realize there was a dance happening. You know what I mean? That they were trying to dance around what they want because they thought I was trying to oversell them something they didn't want. I didn't realize that at first. When I realized all I had to do was like control the dance and they buy what they wanted, this thing became so easy.
Right. Let me ask this. Yeah. Another question people ask me all the time, and is one of my favorite things to answer, is how much time do you spend what is the word that I'm looking for, where you're developing this relationship with someone when you're trying to sell them some?
Bro, almost zero.
That's the right answer.
Yeah. No.
Zero.
That guy. They don't. You know what's funny, dude? When I was first in the business, the like upline, couple up, he had this like acronym he would use, and I don't remember the acronym, but the first letter of the acronym meant you spend 15 minutes building rapport before you get into sales, dude. The day I quit doing that, because I tried it and I hated it. I'm like talking about cabinets and dumb shit I don't know nothing about.
Right.
Dude, I get in this house one time and I'm in Atlanta. It's not in the best part of Atlanta. And I get in there and it's just being real, it's kind of a piece of shit house. Right. So I go in, I sit down at the little tiny kitchen table, and husband, wife, he's sitting there like this. I walk in and I'm like, I don't know how to do this thing, and I'm stumbling over dumb shit to talk about. And I remember I go like, that's a dope floor. What is that? He goes, bro, that's my foundation. I haven't been able to fix my floors because we have no money. I was like, all right, I'm done. And I just, dude, someone who really sold a lot was like, you don't need small talk. They don't care. They don't want it.
What is everybody's favorite subject? Themselves. Yeah. Nobody wants to know about John Wetmore and Perry Lunsford, or certainly not if you're trying to help them.
Yeah,
I can't stand it.
I loved it, dude. And dude, a lot of agents would be like, "What do you mean you don't build no rapport?" I'm like, I don't walk in like an asshole, but no, I don't go out of my way to build stuff. I'm like, hey, what's up? How are you? Nice, and I walk to their table.
Right, and then you start ask them questions about them.
Correct.
I mean, they don't need to know that you have those same kitchen cabinets, or that your kid's birthday is the same birthday as their kid.
Yeah. Well, I do none of that. And I just start talking. And I can see a lot of times, just because you get good at conversing with people, and I get curious. I actually like learning about people.
I like asking questions. We can ask questions all day.
Same. Yeah. And so then you naturally build this rapport with people.
Yeah.
It's not this awkward.
But the rapport it's one direction, me receiving information about them so that I can be of assistance to you.
Correct.
One direction.
I love the ones when they're like, we just had the best conversation. And I'm like, I didn't say shit for 45 minutes.
My favorite. I'm sure I've said this before, but so Single Perry, my favorite game was, how many dates could we go on before they knew anything about me except my name?
Yeah.
And I would just, I'd ask all the questions. They'd be like, I don't know anything about you. And I'm like, I feel like you know a lot. Anyways, tell me about your mom. And then it just keeps going because people can't help it. Yeah. I can't stand I get angry with myself because I'll see those sales things on Facebook, and somebody will post something and I'm dumb enough to sometimes reply. And of course, the ding dongs, crappy salespeople all over the country have to pile on. Like, Perry doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm like, of course I don't know what I'm talking about. I have no way of proving to the world that I'm the GOAT, right? And so, and then I comment, and then I get a bunch of really nice things, and then back the troll says something, and I'm like, I just delete the whole thing. I'm like, it's gone. Like, don't say anything to these people.
I struggle. Some days I respond to, and I've tried to do it in a way where I don't get too mad, but I do. I get mad at the assholes who respond to my stuff about like working hard, and they're like, why work hard when you can work smart? And I'm like, how about fuck you? How about that? It sends me over the edge, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, for me, the most important thing in the entire world is my clients, right? More important than my family, because those clients are what take care of my family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so with my clients, I'm very protective.
Yeah.
And so when somebody says something that I feel like is negative towards my client's intellect, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whether it's about a product or about, like, I don't care if you bash me, but I don't know if somehow in my brain it ties to my client.
You definitely spun that to make it affect your client so you can be mad at it. I like it.
Yes. I'm spinning it to affect my, and it's absolute horseshit. Right? It's not like somebody's going in there, Barry's client stupid. No, that's not what it is. It's just somehow in my crappy little brain, that's the only time I get upset. Or like,
hey, I got one for you.
Okay.
This is one that drives me a little nuts when people say things like, when we talk about doing sales, and their answer is like, I need something more stable, not commission only.
Then you don't want to be in sales. That sounds great. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. But what, I mean, I don't understand the thought, because it's stable if you fucking do it right.
Well,
it's pretty stable for me.
I think that what we did, we do something very different now, right?
Yeah.
But what we did is not for almost anyone. I mean, it really is. The percentage of people that it's right for, it's so remarkably small. So, I try not to see any of the resumes that come in, but somehow my email address is stuck on the Indeed, and I can see their responses.
Yeah.
And I remember when I used to have to deal with those, and it's like, is this commission plus hourly or
base plus? Yeah, base plus and shit.
Plus, right. And I just delete. Like, I don't reply. I don't want to play your game. But I respect that, because, I mean, listen, mankind made it this far because we protect ourselves.
Yeah. True.
And what you and I do, and what got us here, is from not being safe. So what we do is not for almost anyone.
Yeah.
So there's an 8% success rate according to what's his name, right? I don't know if that's accurate. I think that's probably high. So figure,
I think that means make it past like 1 year or 2 years or whatever his number is. That's right. Not even success per se.
And so, so success is making it past 2 years, but a giant percentage of those went back to wherever they used to work, but are still selling some life insurance on the side or something like that. Right. Yeah. So the percentage, so let's say for fun, it is 8%. So you got 8%, but it's not 8% of the population. It's 8% of the 100% that thought this was a good idea.
Yeah. And make it through to start.
Right. So, and there's like 1 in however many thousand would be dumb enough or smart enough to do this. And then only 8% are still in the business after 2 years, which means, like, you're looking at the percentage of population that's right for this is so insanely small.
Yeah, zero.
It's basically zero. And so, okay, well, let's take that back to that kid who's like, where do I find someone like you? Well, the answer is, I don't exist. John Wetmore does not exist. If the statistic is zero,
for the most part.
So the number of people who can actually make it, the statistic, you can easily move to zero. And then you say, well, the number of people who wildly make it, what's the percentage of that? 0. Right?
0 point something. Yeah.
So then where do I find someone like John or Perry? And the only answer these kids can come up with is, well, I saw a video on TikTok of a guy driving a really nice car. And they're brave enough to reach out. And I love that, because how many people do you hire that are scared to reach out to anybody? These guys are reaching out to the bald dude. So
I respect the hustle.
Yeah, I do too, man. And it's a great question. That's why I brought it to you. I was like, maybe you can come up with something, because the only thing I can come up with is LinkedIn, because that's, or not LinkedIn, but Indeed, because that's where I'm hiding. But how many people are hiding that shouldn't be?
Yeah. That's funny. I have a buddy that, like, when he wants to connect, now he's not broke, and he's not like right out of high school, but he has this really unique way, like, where he finds people and he'll send them, dude, he goes, if I want to get something in someone's hand and I send it to their office, there's usually gatekeepers. He's like, I like to find them, and I'll send them an Amazon package of something unique from me, because it will go to their house, and then they'll open it because it's from Amazon or from whatever, FedEx or something like that. And there's some big names, dude, he's connected with from doing something as simple as that, where he'll find something super unique and find their address and send it to them.
The problem with Amazon is they put that tiny little piece of paper in there that says who it came from.
Yeah.
And it's so small, you don't know.
Yep.
And especially like in my house, because there's always somebody ordering some kind of crap.
Yeah.
And I'll be like,
what the hell
there's
is
a ceramic piggy bank here. That's interesting. I wonder why my wife bought that. Throw the box away, come home. My wife's like, where did the piggy bank come from? I'm like, I don't know. Let's go. Now we're digging in the trash can like we lost the stamp.
Lord.
Yeah. So the answer to where do you find us? You can't.
You can't. You just quit. It could be our 9 followers of our podcast.
I mean, we have actually a lot. When you take it, you go, all right, well, it's because it's separated in so many places.
I'm playing.
I know. Well, I'm not, my feelings aren't hurt by it, but it's like, if you look here, we don't have any followers. Then you look here and you're like, oh, well, we're doing okay there. And then you look over there, not really.
It's coming. Over there. It's coming. This is like us living the stuff we talk about. Just keep doing it. It'll eventually work out. Like, one day this is going to work out. And I have fun with it. Like, what I love is our intentions were true. Like, let's just get together and hang out once a week and fucking record it and call it something.
Yeah. I was talking to that PBD people, and they were talking about the podcast. I was like, I mean, it's just my buddy and I hanging out. Like, it's just 2 guys who want to hang out. And they're like, well, what guests do you have on there? I'm like, I had my cousin once. Like, yeah. I'm just trying to hang out with my friend, because every time I hang out with him, my business gets better and I make a little more money in life, and I'm happier. So we hang out every week.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It'll work. So, dude, today I took my daughter to she's a senior in high school, and we drove to Milledgeville, Georgia, which is exactly where it sounds like it should be. And we went on a college tour of Georgia College, and now it's Georgia College and State University, GCSU. So she's going there. Yeah, so she's gonna. She already got in and accepted and whatever.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, so we got another one leaving the nest, I guess, as they say. And the entire trip there, she was like wanting to know the easiest, how she gets home when she wants to come home, and how to navigate the interstate, because she don't like driving on the interstate. Right. And so she's trying to figure, and it's 2.5 hours from our house ish, and you have to go dead smack through Atlanta or around it, like it's a pain in the ass. And the entire time she wants to know how to make it there without going on 75 or getting on 20 or getting on the interstate. I'm like, sweetie, you're gonna have to learn how to drive on the interstate, mama. And but it was a good day. So we toured around this college. I got on, which those that know me, I haven't told my staff or any of my staff this yet, but you know, when you go to a college tour, there's no like, I couldn't find a way to not get on the shuttle bus with the 25 other people and follow the speaker. So I had this insanely controlled patience today. I got on a shuttle bus 4 times and listened to terrible jokes about each of the buildings for my daughters.
You have for your daughter.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
You know what I love most about my daughter? She would handle that as well as I do. And we would be miserable together, holding hands and trying to project ourselves off of the bus.
Dude, so last week I fly to where was I? I was in Phoenix.
Yes,
I was in Phoenix. I landed in Phoenix. And I do Turo a lot, like when I get a car.
Yeah.
So I don't like going to the car rental places because
they treat you horribly.
Yes.
Back to sales, that creepy where they're just trying to screw you
to get you to buy the insurance.
Rental cars. I would love it if Enterprise Rent-A-Car would sponsor our show so that I can talk about what pieces of shit they are. They're the worst company on the planet. And I want them to want to sponsor our show so I can say no. The worst humans ever made. Turo. That's the way to go. Absolutely 100% the way to go.
Almost. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So a lot of times there's very few airports that have the rental place in the airport. But even if you do, you got to stand in an annoying line with the dipshits and like it's a pain in the ass.
Horrible.
Most of them, you got to get on a shuttle and drive to the car rental place, which I don't want to do. So I'm like, all right, let me do Turo. So Turo, almost every airport, they meet me there. I walk out of the baggage claim. They hand me a key. I throw my bag in. I get in the car. I drive off. I take 7 steps out of the airport, which I like a lot.
That has not been my experience.
Really?
No, I always end up having to Uber a mile and a half.
Yes. Okay. So
but I don't mind. It's better than dealing with Enterprise where you rented your Cadillac or whatever it is, and you get there and then they hand you the keys to your Volkswagen Bug and you go, I ordered a Cadillac
Correct.
or a BMW or whatever it is. I ordered this. And they're like, well, it's that or equivalent, sir. And I'm like, you think that's equivalent to that? On what planet is that equivalent to that? Yeah. Show me your car and I will trade you for this thing. And you tell me if it's equivalent.
They put the luxury
then they act like
SUV.
I'm a jerk for going, I'm not driving a minivan. Yes. I am 6'3". I am 222 pounds and I inject testosterone into myself. And I am not driving a maroon minivan where the doors are broken and open up on the side while I'm driving down the highway. I want my Cadillac.
Okay, we're the same. So get this. I get to Phoenix, right? Yep. So Turo. Normally, Turo, there's a couple. They can almost come into every airport. Like Boston, they don't let Turo in, so you got to Uber down the street. It's a pain in the ass.
Right.
And it drives me. And now I have like a mental thing about it where I'm like, I don't want to take more than 7 steps from the airport to my car. I'm just an asshole. I don't want to do it.
Okay.
So I can't. Too bad. No, it's not too bad, dude. I'm telling you, it works out.
You got it figured out.
I get to Phoenix.
Okay.
Right. And they message right when I'm landing. They message, hey, I parked your car in economy parking over by lot B near the fucking dog park. And I'm like, economy parking? I've been to enough airports to know that economy parking is not near the airport.
Right.
So I'm like, bro, economy? I go, can you not meet me out front? He goes, I don't have the time. It's only a 10-minute bus ride away.
Nope.
I'm like, dude, I'm not taking a bus to get your. And I rented a nice car.
Yeah.
And I've rented some Lamborghinis before. I do Porsches and Cadillac Escalade. I rent some nice stuff on Turo.
Turo's awesome.
Yeah. So this guy, he's like, got me an economy. It's like, it was like $800 for the week for whatever. We got like I think we had a Suburban or something, some kind of SUV. I don't remember what it was. And so he tells me economy parking. I text Amanda. I'm like, help. I sent her a screenshot of economy, take a bus. She's like, oh, dude. I'm like, I can't do it. So we're on Turo searching for a new car while I'm walking to the baggage claim to find a new one. And I'm like, message them and make sure they can meet me. Dude, I'm like 12 minutes from needing the car. She goes, no, hold on. We use this place called Go Rentals. She's like, no, I'm going to get you a Go Rental. I'm like, all right, just get me a car. So dude, in like 20 minutes, bro, she calls this Go Rental. They literally come up with a dope SUV. It looks like they're bringing the president somewhere, like those SUVs, blacked out, big, nice SUVs.
Yeah.
And they pull up, they hand you a key, you sign a little contract, another car picks him up, he takes off, and they drop it off. It's in most major airports. Go Rentals. Yep, dude. And so if I can't get a sick Turo to meet me, I'll do Go Rentals. Go Rental. And dude, you Go Rental, you can drop the car off like in the bushes at the Walmart, and they'll come pick it up. They don't care. You just drop it in the middle of the interstate, they'll come pick it up.
Is it an app?
I don't know, Amanda. It's Amanda.
Okay. Oh, that's Amanda.
It's Go Rentals. I think I'm sure they have a website.
So were you able to get did you have to pay
Hell
for
yeah,
the,
dude.
for the
no,
Turo
so
that you didn't use?
So dude, I cancel the Turo, right? And in the Turo cancel process, it sends him a message.
Yeah.
So I cancel the Turo. It's like, again, I think it was $800 for the week or the 4 to 5 days, whatever I was there. And it's like $137 to cancel now. I'm like, fuck yeah. So it goes, why do you want to cancel? And I'm like, I don't want to take a bus to economy. And I hit cancel. I get like 90% refunded back. Yeah. And I get my Go Rental showed up.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not getting on that bus. And it's not because I'm too good to get on the bus. It's because I've done that bus and it sucks.
Bro.
And they're going to stop at 15 places. And you're going to drag your stuff around. And then the guy next to you is spitting on the ground.
Dude.
I'm not doing that. I'm not getting on that bus.
When Steph and I go to the airport now and I do the bougie thing where they just take me to the airplane.
All right.
We drive, like when we're on the way driving to the airport or getting a ride, whatever, we have, and a lot of places have it, I think, but we have this place called like the Spot or something like that. And it's like a yellow bus with black polka dots all over it. And on the way to Atlanta airport, there's like 800 little parking lots, basically. Right. And instead of paying at the airport, whatever airport prices are, you pay $4 a day and you park 14 miles from the airport and you get in a polka dot bus and they drive you to some spot in the airport. And we used to go between all the parking spot places and find the one that we could get for like $3.50 a night instead of $4 a night.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I have flashbacks of nightmares of fighting through these fucking buses with 5 bags to get to the airport because I couldn't afford anything at the time. And I'm like, dude, when I can do it, I am not getting on a bus again.
Jamie and I used to take amazing vacations and it would cost us nothing. Like between the parking and the cheapest and bouncing around from airline to airline and then like sharing a room and at somebody's house on Airbnb. And we've gone all over the world on next to nothing. And those were just as wonderful as the trips that we take now. But the trips we take now are less stressful. And it's like, I don't have to do that. I've done it. If I had to do it again, I'd be doing it. But right now, I don't have to get on a yellow bus with black polka dots. And also, Enterprise Rent a Car is the worst company on the planet. Just to put that back out there.
Enterprise is going to sue us this week.
Bring it. Because I got 6 lawsuits for those people. I just have never sued anybody, and I'm not going to.
Let's go, Enterprise.
I told you Jamie likes to hunt deer, right? My wife likes to go deer hunting with her car, and she just keeps running over deer with her BMW.
Y'all talked about that at dinner.
Yes. So
Steph's hit a deer with her car too.
So Jamie drives it in M8. She's hit 2 deer this year. She loves deer. She just wants to get them close and pet them. And so I'm like, listen, this is my wife's car. So my insurance company, USAA, which is only slightly better than Enterprise Rental Car, they're like, all right, well, you got to go with Enterprise. So I'm like, all right, man, I don't like these guys, but it's fine. So I go to Enterprise, I go online, I reserve a Cadillac for my wife because it's my wife, man. Like me, like I got lots of cars. I just drive one of the hot rods. I don't really care. I do care, but not. I drive cars that don't have air conditioning every day, right? But my wife, when I met my wife, she was a yoga instructor with a maroon minivan that the doors were always broken and stuck
That's
over.
why you had this flashback.
Yes. And it's like, and she went from extreme poverty when we met, and she has worked so hard. Like you've met her. She's the hardest working person you'll ever meet. Her and my sister work harder than anybody I've ever known put together. And it's like, for my wife, I'm stuck getting a rental car. I'm stuck with Enterprise, but fine, we're going to get this Cadillac. So I call up there. I'm like, listen, my wife wants a Cadillac. What's that going to take? And they're like, well, that's going to take 4 days. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be out of town then. They're like, well, it's going to be another 4 days. So we wait a week. And then I wait that week. And then I go up there to get the Cadillac. And this whole time she didn't have a car. She's driving my truck. And so I go up there. I get a ride. Somebody drops me off. I go inside because I called before. I go, you got the Cadillac? And they go, yeah. Get up there, go inside. I'm like, hey, here for the Cadillac. And they go, oh, okay. Here you go, Mr. Lunsford. First off, they made me sit there and stare at them for 20 minutes. And then they give me the keys that say Toyota on them. And I go, why does this Cadillac key say Toyota? And they were like,
It's
equivalent. I go, they go, it's that maroon minivan right there. I go, listen. I don't know if you've ever seen any like PTSD Vietnam vet movies, but that's my wife with a red minivan. We do not need this reenacted at all. No, my wife is not getting a red minivan. I go, bring me something else. And they go, well, this, it's the equivalent, sir. I go, no, it's not equivalent. So they bring the manager out. I'm like, listen, my wife wants Cadillac. I need Cadillac. And I realize that the Cadillac you're going to give me is a piece of shit Cadillac, but still it says Cadillac. So at least I look like I tried. And if I bring this thing home, she's going to go Chuck Norris on me. Like Chuck Norris. There's no way I'm bringing that home to my wife. They're like, all right, well, it's going to be 4 more days. I'm like, I spent 8 days. All right, come back. All right, 12 days. Come back 12 days. Red minivan again. And this time they're like, well, we don't have Cadillacs at this location. I go, I'm aware you don't have Cadillacs at this location. That's why I've waited 12 days so that you would get a Cadillac at this location. And they're like, who told you that? I'm like, you told me that. Like you and that guy over there and the big guy over there who hadn't showered since the last time I was here. Y'all told me that. I want my Cadillac. So finally it goes 12 days in and I call and I'm on hold with Enterprise Rental Car, the worst company on the planet. And the whole time I'm on hold for 25 minutes and I just go about my day and leave it. The whole time I'm on hold. And this is what drives me crazy. The whole time I'm on hold, I have to listen to the little voice thing about how great their customer service is and how much they love me. And I'm like, now you've really setting the expectations high, right? So they finally get this guy, he gets on the phone and he hung up on me, by the way, because I'm like, listen, it's okay, man. I realize you don't own this company. According to the audio, it's privately owned. According to this thing that you kept telling me how much you love me. It's not your fault that you work for the worst company in the world. We can get this resolved. I just need you to say, yes, Perry, I'm aware that I work for the worst company in the world. And then we can have this all behind us. I'll go get a minivan. Anyways, I ended up renting a Turo. That's the long story.
Oh, Lord,
and USAA did not take me back. I paid $4,000 for that Turo because when my wife hits a deer, she hits it good. So it took a long time.
That is funny.
Anyways, that's my rant. I appreciate it. That's fun.
I love it. That was fun. Let's go kill it this week, dude.
Taking 7 guys to Eddie V's, which is a fancy steak restaurant in Fort Worth.
Nice.
You don't know that.
I love it.
And then I'm interviewing. I have 6 or 8 CFOs that I'm interviewing tomorrow because I'm probably going to hire a CFO. So
because you're a badass. That's dope. Good for you, dude.
I think I need a CFO because I'm not a badass.
No, that's backwards thinking.
No,
you need a CFO because
I
you're not
am
a CFO.
keeping my numbers together as well as I'd like to. And but the trick is, so can I find someone that I can look up to as a mentor? Because the last CFO I had, I looked up to as a mentor.
Yeah, makes sense.
And so that's what I'm going for. That's why I have so many interviews lined up tomorrow. I'm just going to sit in a room, drink water, and interview these guys and pray that I can find one that I can look up to, and then maybe can look up to me, and then we can mentor each other. And then, this company, as we build this new branch of it, can have a smarter person than me helping me out with that. So, all right, man, I appreciate you.
Good week, brother. We'll see you soon.